Ladies and gentlemen, Ibrahim, today is July 4th, 2024. Today is July 4th, 2024. American, and what they call Independence Day. When I remember we celebrated independence 1961. We met in Lagardem and say we forget independence at all cost. We make the even go lock check as Stevens to everybody oppose, there are certain conditions they want for be met first before they even talk about independence. Of course, Milton McGuire, we always say he did it from 61 to 63, we die 64, and then in brother take over from 1964 all the way, to 67. When Albert Magai, the most terrible SLPP and Sierra Leone leader would ever get, with destroy and damage democracy. But today, I want to talk to Ambassador Hunt again. By Ambassador Hunt, it's your actions are becoming a little bit criminal at this point in time, because I don't know if you listen to yourself after all these interviews that you've been doing, and I'm going to play them to you for you to remind you again as far as what you've been saying. But your actions are becoming very criminal, and I believe that you should be investigated at this particular point in time. We know corruption happens at all levels of life, and we know that it's there are a lot of cases. I've done a lot of extensive research and stuff like these, where ambassadors and international organizations, of course, become part of the corrupt class, but they do it in very ostentatiously in a way, aristocratically, where the I wouldn't say ordinary citizens, but the folks that are not educated enough to be able to see through you guys will not see it. It takes a certain level of understanding to be able to see the level of corruption that you guys keep getting engaged yourselves in. But from the way you speak, everything you talk about, I'm going to talk Creole, because I know me Creole is almost like English, because I want me people to understand exactly what you talk there. So I'm going to stay on the Creole side. But again, we listened to you yesterday, AYV again. And you say the next election date is 2028. Ambassador Hunt, again, I don't know where you're getting this level of confidence from, but you're taking the people of Sierra Leone for granted. Ambassador Hunt, in 1991, SLPP, Ali Kaba, I want you to look this up. Ambassador Hunt, look this up. Ali Kaba, who was actually sent to the United Nations to represent Sierra Leone as the UN permanent representative for Sierra Leone. I mean, we had to kick him out of there, because there's no way somebody who actually started the Rebel War, when Charles Taylor, when he was prosecuted at The Hague, the International Criminal Court, made it very clear that Ali Kaba was the one that he met at the Mataba, and he was the one who started a revolution in Sierra Leone, to the point where Charles Taylor was even confused as to why Ali Kaba was not brought to the International Criminal Court. So I'm saying this to you, Ambassador Hunt, because I want you to know the history of Sierra Leone, which you might have read, I'm sure, as an ambassador. You make yourself a fay, with the history of a country before you go there, and it's a work in progress. You continually continue to read and everything. Ambassador Hunt, Ali Kaba was sent to the United Nations to represent Sierra Leone, even though he was the man who was responsible for the brutal Rebel War. And the only reason why I'm mentioning this is the fact that Ali Kaba, the reasons why they started the Rebel War, the revolution, is because he said that they were fighting this war because of corruption, human rights abuses, inequality in the country, citizens' rights are not being respected in all shape and form. So I'm going to play for you a little bit of the persecution of Charles Taylor when he mentioned the name Ali Kaba. I want you to hear this, because Ambassador Hunt, you take Sierra Leone down a very dark path, siding with the SLPP. They've confused you. You're a very confused man, but you don't know. But again, you might be a very cocky fellow, because I've been calling you out since the first video and audio that you did, when you said it is an unrealistic expectation for us to ask for rural elections, because it was not part of what the tripartite committee was set up for. But you're contradicting yourself right there, because the moment you say that, you defeat the purpose of even why the US government was begging, the APC, for them to go to parliament because you guys believe in governance. You were begging us to go to parliament, the APC party, so that at least you guys can work out what actually happened with the rigging of the elections. The United States recognizes the fact that the elections was rigged. But before I go even further, you're very confused. You don't know what you're doing, and you're going to pay for this, Ambassador Hunt. If Sierra Leoneans have to garner the courage to file a lawsuit against you for every utterance that you've made, going against the will of the people of Sierra Leone, going against democracy, I think they should. The only reason why I would not is because you know why I would not. I'm going to leave it at that. This is the farthest I could go to call out these things because, again, my goal is to protect democracies across the world. So I'm going to play this video of Charles Taylor when he asked for Ali Kaba, because Ali Kaba was the reason why we had the brutal Rebel War. And again, before I even play the video, let me give you a backdrop, because I know the SLPP, because it looks like you are hanging out with the SLPP guys. I don't think you hang out with liberal folks that would give you the facts. Looks like you are hanging out with the SLPP idiots. So they're feeding you this nonsense and garbage that you're taking sacrosanctly and verbatim, and then you're acting on it. You act on them. You're acting on it. This is why you're so confused. You're very confused. You've been compromised very heavily. So let me play this video for you, and so you can understand. Because the thing is, Albert Magai, when he came to power, he was the one who instituted it. Albert Magai was SLPP. After his brother died, even him coming to power was convoluted, because it was supposed to be John Khalifa Smart. Dr. John Khalifa Smart, who was the Minister of Finance at the time, was supposed to succeed the Prime Minister in the event where he died. But this tribalism in our country, and then some members of the Creole community supported Albert Magai to take over power after Minister Magai. So it's deep. It's deep. You have to learn these things. But let me play this video, of Charles Taylor asking why Ali Kaba was not called to testify at the International Criminal Court. I want you to understand where we're coming from and where you're trying to take us again, Ambassador Hunt. Listen to this. Before I even play the Charles Taylor video, I think let me play first the written Ambassador Hunt talk yesterday, July 3rd, 2024, which he say again, that AYV with Fabian Swill and another guy, Samuel Ibrahim something. Anyways, both of them interviewed him. And that interview, Ambassador Hunt not even talk about the recommendation number 1 that was put forth by the APC party, where it is the fact that in the absence of the elections results, since ECSL for produced the result, that in the APC they ask for rural elections. But that is a whole conversation in itself, because again, yesterday in your deal I do and I'll see why they asked the APC for take responsibility. Then before yesterday actually. Then for now come out and do a press conference for make sure say all of everything we don't put in that recommendation, especially number 1, rerun elections. Therefore can't defend them. Everybody should be on the records. Kelfalama, Richard Conte, Minkalu Mansari, Cheriko Ku, Samura Kama, everybody should be on the records that yes, we don't ask for real elections and we're waiting on the international partners for implement. I want for Sudan, because otherwise it's like they're all part of the game and they play game for rig minds. They only do this because they know so we don't put them so much to the fire, to the point where I even tell them to register the People's Liberation Academy as a political party for wipe them out. So maybe they look at like for say, no play games there, no put the report no more for say yes, we want a rerun elections, but then we don't go act on them, because that is very critical and this is very crucial. And everybody, where you don't understand the implications and the intricacies of this particular moment where they also Israelian, please, I will advise you for just stay back, observe, watch, and learn. If you don't understand the intricacies of what is happening, I don't want anybody rush now to conclusion, judgment, on a steady, on a watch, on a observe, on a learn. Alright? If anything, we don't teach you over the past 5 years. We go for learn, for observe, and read the room, and not run to conclusion. Okay? So everybody, sisters and brothers out there, on a steady, on a caution. If you don't understand the intricacies, the connections and collections, how intertwined this whole process is right now, sit back. Now make we do now for make sure say we broke up for now. You want to listen to garbage? Listen to garbage. It's up to you. But I'm going to break it down for you guys analytically, from the mindset of somebody who's very knowledgeable about these issues when they happen in our country. So again, like I said, the APC for take full responsibility for their recommendations, and for come out not only in letter, because also over the years APC is good for press releases, but what's in the lacking is the fact that when they come out with statements and videos, or face to face, one-on-one, then they can own this recommendation will make so that play this within Ambassador Hunt talk for us yesterday, so they're going to understand. Now listen to this. Now listen to this. sorry for the silence, but when I listen to this, which Ambassador Hunt said yesterday, July 3rd, when I listen to them, and then I will play the Ali Kaba video so you can understand who's how they come out there.
We're very concerned, frankly, about making a 6-year commitment to Sierra Leone, having an election coming up in 2028, which would be about midway through that 6-year commitment, and then we're very concerned, frankly, about making a 6-year commitment to Sierra Leone, having an election coming up in 2028, which would...
Alright, so for don't understand, because I don't play the whole thing, what they talk now, but what's important for note is the fact that Ambassador Hunt they talk now for say that the MCC implementation, that one on interview they go do that MCC, what you know, it feels say this is what Ambassador Hunt it thinks when they come out with the MCC, when he talk somewhat like a negative, the negative they go towards the SLPP, then people on the other side like they're happy. It feels say that's the game is playing. They come and talk about the MCC to get the APC or the opposition excited. Say, oh, look at the MCC. They're not going to receive that money. They will not be receiving that money anytime soon. Look at them. They were happy celebrating about the MCC. So Ambassador Hunt thinks when he comes with these conversations, he's playing with our minds. So that when he speaks negatively about the MCC, he thinks we get excited. Everybody gets excited that, oh, yeah, look at them. Oh, Manabi thinks he's going to get the MCC. He's not going to get it. Look at us. We won. They're not going to get the MCC. So he's using that. Instead of talking about the actual issues, they're using the MCC as this. It's like an appeasement tool, not like a pacifier. Salon. You know when you go you picking, you don't understand what you are for talk there. You know something pacifier where they put on a picking a motive and they cry, and suck them like Bobby. You know when you replace the Bobby. That is what in Ambassador Hunt they use the MCC as to the APC people them. So we talk that way. They say, hey, we be concerned about the MCC. We know if we can give them money and then halfway in they can cause all our problems and not stable democratically because you know say APC people they gladly and really happy the fact that we know say these guys don't commit so much atrocities, they don't deserve to get MCC money, so they use them as a pacifier for the APC people. I hope you understand. That's the best way I can explain this. So the whole interview, instead of talking about the recommendations that were actually made, it goes straight to legislation that the laws they were for pass. Ambassador Hunt, let me tell you this: you're not intelligent. As long as you have people like myself, you're not intelligent because I know the issues of Sierra Leone better than you. I can take you on any international platform. I'll tell you this. And just like I could take any of the SLPP folks at any international platform to break these things down for you, you're not intelligent. What I want to tell you is this. I want you to understand this. Understand this fact. No matter what, the fact of the matter remains. In that interview at 98.1, instead of you talking about the recommendations, number one, and I don't blame you, it's AYV. AYV is an SLPP radio station. The only radio station that you can go to, and I know that I would have the objective questions being asked, is Epic Radio. The only way to go, that's Salon, that Epic Radio to get authentic questions being asked by that gentleman. But every of these radio stations, everything is tailored. It is structured. They know the questions that they're going to ask you. And so when you went on AYV yesterday, you go talk like AYV yesterday, you know exactly what it is. That's why Fabian Swiel could not even ask you about recommendation number one, and rerun elections in the absence of the election results. They could not ask you that because that was out of the reins. So you don't even mention them. You couldn't even talk about the fact that the APC asked for a rerun. So that's why I'm saying again, maybe it's a game that the APC play with we. They put rerun there, but they cannot even stand on it. APC people, at the ask all, where is the APC going to come up with a press statement, a press conference to defend the recommendations what they make about the rerun election? If we don't get them guy there for can't talk about this, they've only played with our intelligence as well. Everybody for own the recommendations of the tripartite committee, because Ambassador Hunt, we don't lack laws. We don't lack laws in Sierra Leone. even the laws that we had, even though it favored the SLPP, when the APC members in parliament allowed the SLPP to pass those laws in parliament, the Public Elections Act 2002, all of those laws made provisions for these guys to abide by. The constitution is there. They did not abide by none of those. So nothing is going to change with all of these foolish recommendations that is in the tripartite. The only recommendations Helenin's cared about was the absence of the results. Therefore, we asked for a rerun elections. That was all that really mattered. But if anybody feels they could play with my intelligence, they lie. The APC for come with a press conference, and they should, because we are not going to move on from this. We're not going to accept this. We are going to make sure we defend and protect democracy. We're telling you this, Ambassador Hunt. Sierra Leoneans would not let this ride. And I guarantee you, I believe and I know that by God's grace, the end of this month, if nothing substantive is done, especially talking about the rerun elections, giving the people of Sierra Leone a date for the rerun elections, I guarantee you, the people of Sierra Leone would not sit back and allow this to happen. But let me play the video of Charles Taylor, because it's very important, and I want you to understand, so I can make my analysis further about this issue that we have at hand. Listen to this Charles Taylor's video.
I did not seek any assistance from Ali Kaba. Ali Kaba did not seek any assistance from me. I said many did not seek any assistance from me or Ali Kaba, and vice versa. We were not in a mataba to ask to assist each other in what they wanted to do. We were there to exchange Pan-African jargons and talk about it, but at no time did I promise Ali Kaba or he promised me. At no time did I request from Ali Kaba an assistance, or at no time did Ali Kaba ask of any or for any assistance from me. At no time. Because Ali Kaba's own revolution, as far as he had explained it to me, Ali Kaba, who by the way, if it were possible, we'll still bring him to the scope because I think he's available, he's just frightened. Ali Kaba, who by the way, if it were possible, we'll still bring him to the scope because I think he's available, he's just frightened. Ali Kaba said to me that within the armed forces of Sierra Leone and the police and the other security apparatus, he had all of the assistance that he needed, and that the men he were training in Libya would return directly to Sierra Leone, and that upon the return from inside Sierra Leone, they would launch the revolution. So there was no request or nothing from him to me or from me to him. It was not necessary. It did not happen. There were no promises and could have never been.
Thank you. You know, the reason why I'm playing this for you, Ambassador Hunt, is that I want you to know that the same rights that Ali Kaba, who is an SLPP official, who is part of this current SLPP government as well, he plays a very crucial role in advising, at least he plays a very crucial role for advice. The same rights will be get as a citizen for take up arms against the state because he believes, say, the people were being oppressed and suppressed. There was a one-party state system. Human rights abuses were rampant. Corruption was at the highest. Ali Kaba, as a citizen of Sierra Leone, the same right he gets. Don't you think somebody else in Sierra Leone or Sierra Leone somewhere has the same right to execute the same mission that Ali Kaba executed? And let me tell you, Ambassador Hunt, what you're doing is, if anybody who's a Sierra Leonean starts something right now, which of course would be justified at all cost, because it's very blatant, it's very clear, the fact that we had a tripartite committee set up after an elections shows you that there is absolutely, every right for any Sierra Leonean to stand up and say, I'm going to defend and protect democracy right now. So it's absolutely justifiable for anybody to stand up and say, yes, I'm going to take up arms against the state, because again, sovereignty belongs to the people, and if the people's rights have been violated in a democracy, that's why we have military coups and all of this stuff that are happening. So don't you think somebody else has the right that Ali Kaba had? You think it's just these SLPP people? Don't you think they have the right? Marabio, his sister, was married to Furi Sanko, who later on became the leader of the RUF. This President Marabio's sister was married to the Arabian leader. So you tell me, and then they'll tell you he was able to go and meet Foris Sankor to broker a peace deal and this and that. No, Marabio's older brother, when he was supplying arms and ammunition to the government officials, soldiers, he was actually supplying the same arms and ammunition again to the rebels. So the government soldiers, they had the same uniforms that the rebels had. So it was sometimes very hard for the soldiers to distinguish who was the rebel or who was the soldier. That created a lot of crossfiring amongst themselves. This is the same Marabio. His older brother was doing this, caused all this damage to Sierra Leone. Ambassador Hunt, you don't know what's going on. And I'm talking to you from a place of just wanting to inform you, give you the information that you need, because I'm a very neutral person. I'm not taking sides. I'm not APC. I'm not ASAPP. Yes, I was born into APC. I don't need a membership card in the APC party. I would always be a member of the APC party because I was born into the political party. Our grandfathers and fathers have always, family members have always stood by and stayed with the APC. But that does not mean that my allegiance is to APC per se. No, my allegiance is to Sierra Leone. So I'm giving you all this information so you understand. The first time you came, you said it's an unrealistic expectation. Let me remind you again of that. Hold on.
Other means to resolve their disputes than through a court challenge. Under Sierra Leonean law, as I understand it, a court challenge is the only way that we could look at invalidation of the electoral results. And as I say, under your law, there are specific time frames under which that has to be undertaken, which have expired. So I don't think that is a realistic scenario to talk about. I think what we need to be looking at, as I said, is one, legislation, and two, accountability. I don't think talking about invalidation of results or rerun of the elections is helpful because it's not realistic.
Thank you. This is what you said the first time when we had the tripartite committee members by the balls. When you guys noticed, Ambassador Hunt, when you noticed that we had the tripartite committee to say it makes no sense, and logically, I mean, it makes no sense for anybody to say that we should move past an election where we don't have the results of that election. Ambassador Hunt, I want you to think, this is logical, this is common sense. That is why we're not going to let you pass. And if anything happens in Sierra Leone, Ambassador Hunt, you would be a class witness. And I'll be ready to stand right there with you to be a class witness. You would not be protected by the American law system. It is your utterances and everything that you said that led, if anything happens in Sierra Leone, you caused it. You've been the mouthpiece of the SRPP. You've been the mouthpiece of the tripartite committee members to a certain extent. Because when we had them where we had them cornered, they knew that what we were saying was the fact that in an elections where the results are not available, then definitely they have no choice but to give us a rerun elections. Because when you check our constitution, section 5 subsection 2a, it says, through this constitution, the government derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Sierra Leone. And when the people went out to vote, their votes were stolen, and you were telling us we should move past it. And you came that interview on 98.1 yesterday. You could not even mention or talk about the fact that recommendation number 1 is that the APC is asking for rerun elections. And we were expecting you to say, yes, we are willing and ready to implement those recommendations. Because again, every recommendation in the tripartite committee is implementable and actionable. So you don't even talk about Dande. You did not talk about that. But what you did was to avoid and evade. You completely evade. You used the evade and distract tactics. You came with the MCC, thinking say you can use the MCC for pacifier, that the people will be happy because that's what everybody focuses on. Even at AYV, you see how people title the whole thing. Ambassador Hunt says no 480 million until the recommendations are implemented. But you don't even talk about the actual implementations, like the recommendations that needs to be implemented, which is the first one. We're not going to talk about legislation, and this is why Abdul Kagbo, as the leader of the opposition in parliament, you guys need to walk away from parliament now. You guys need to walk away from parliament. You should not be doing any appointments. You should not be talking about any legislation where they don't put the recommendations of the tripartite. The first recommendation is a rerun elections, and the people has to choose the leader in that country today. Some people and everybody APC, they make us say, if you don't understand the semantics of this whole thing, if you don't understand the intricacies and how intertwined this whole thing is, please, we are patient, we are suffer, we are listening and learn. When I call on Abdul Kagbo now in the APC party, they should either get out of parliament, or what they should be talking about APC is the date for rerun elections. Ambassador Hunt for playing with intelligence. We for the call for a date now for the rerun elections. That is what should be the paramount concern, and that should be waiting for be the paramount talk where everybody for the talk about. When is the next rerun elections? And we won't forget that within the next 90 days, not later than September, the end of September, at least first week October, we for get the rerun elections, and then all the other recommendations that has to do with legislation in parliament and laws that they need for make effective, how for appoint the ECSL, all these other recommendations what they make, how for appoint the commissioner for ECSL, all of that was not. Hey, listen, Ambassador Hunt, go to section 76 of the Constitution. It tells you how we appoint, electoral commissioners. The SNPP violated the Constitution to appoint Mohamed Kanari Kone. And I'm going to give you a backdrop on that, but I want you to know that we understand these things and we are not going to move fast. So Abdul Kakbo, Parliament, APC, will I walk away from Parliament now? If we're serious, and APC people, I'm telling you, let me say again, we're going to register the People's Liberation Academy. We need to wipe these guys out. If these guys are serious now, APC, they walk away from Parliament. Information, so the only question they ask if they're inside Parliament, no business as usual until we get a date for the rerun elections. That is what is crucial. That is what's important. If APC people are, that's what I for ask for now. The APC members of Parliament therefore walk away from Parliament again, now begin back fresh. The recommendations are now out. The recommendation for the tripartite committee don't come out. Number one, they say rerun elections. If APC not stand by that, if they not take away from Parliament, they organize a press conference now with Kelfala Mara, Richard Conte, Minkano Bansari, Payansane, Cherikuku, Samura Kamara, everybody for be involved for that press conference, everybody for give a 2-minute statement, just for reaffirm the fact that yes, we don't call for a rerun elections inside the tripartite recommendations. Now the number one recommendation that they will make for so we forget a rerun election because ECSL for produce the result, and because we don't get the power to announce the winner of the elections, therefore we're not going to say that we go announce Samura Kamara say if we don't win, let's go sit on the State House. We don't say then definitely we they ask for real elections immediately, and ECOWAS and every international partner, including the European Union, they say they stand by for ready for implementing recommendations. Now I make Ambassador Hunt come out yesterday because Ambassador Hunt has been fighting, even for get rid of the Kenyan judge. Ambassador Hunt will know you behind that because you guys knew that the Kenyan judge not going to take no foolishness. Guys, when I switch it up in Kenya, the judge when I make them reverse the elections when be regular Kenya, that same judge in the camp for can judge this case now. Ambassador Hunt, because SLPP they use them for fight against that. Then they look at the Australian judge for Cassidy. This guy, this is what he's been doing. He thinks we don't know all of these things. His hand is there. He influenced the ECOWAS for them pull back the Kenyan judge because they don't say that judge don't take no nonsense, he didn't take no foolishness. Because the Genten they don't call no nonsense, they don't get to rerun elections. So the no Randy now he make them use that woman like Australia when they play with for let it come and can act. We will not say for do anything better, but we watch out for see what he get for say. But the APC for pile pressure now for them people need for make that decision so that they will call for rerun elections immediately. If the APC not pile the pressure, some people APC people will all believe say now the APC are part of this. If Marabius you 5 years, APC are part of this because they don't put the pressure on them for puts. Now no right for rights now one, but for come back now then they can talk about them. Now two, now they make the pressure mount, the pressure pile, and the world know, and also the parliamentarians therefore walk out of parliament at this point in time. Or the only thing whatever they talk about in parliament is the fact that we want to rerun elections because that is the recommendation that has been made from the APC, the tripartite committee. So therefore, not only write about her, therefore talk about her. Some people are the TVs on tell for 5 years with Cheriko Kolonia Parliament. We said it was a rights press release. Then it came out. Cheriko for calling people out. For calling people out, stand by. When I see what happened in Senegal quiet. When they fet they know. When they fet na Liberia, no. When they fet now na Kenya, you see the Kenya people don't take over the country. That is the within the constitution, seen as section 5. We say the government through this constitution derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. Now in Kenya, don't show so that the equivalent than in Sierra Leone, with the 1 million population, then decide say we take the country back. Now the same power that the constitution give them, because government derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. When I go to section 5, subsection 2A of the constitution, it is there. So again, we are saying facts now. Let me tell Ambassador Hunt say we're intelligent. We know what is actually happening. You took a whole interview at AYV. You could not even talk about the recommendation number 1, which talks about the real elections. Ambassador Hunt, you are heavily compromised. But I don't have my fingers on anything. I don't know what has happened. I don't know where the compromise took place. I don't know what was given, what was exchanged. I don't know what it is. But an investigation where you'll be put under oath to swear. I swear to God, I think we would know exactly what happened. Because you don't want to commit perjury. So we know under investigations, we put you under oath, we would know exactly what happened, Ambassador Hunt. But that is where we are, Salon people. Now this point will not reach Deleka today. Where Ambassador Hunt now in the place spokesperson for the SLPP, now in the place spokesperson for destroy democracy in Sierra Leone. And like I played the video for you, which starts Taylor calling on Ali Kaba. Ali Kaba started the rebel war in Sierra Leone. Why don't you think another Sierra Leonean could do the same thing and it will be justified this time? And let me tell you, Ambassador Hunt, the people of Sierra Leone are so fed up. The slightest upheaval in that country right now would spark the wildest thing you've ever seen in your life. And you will pay for it as well. You'll be part of the people. And I know you guys, everything I'm saying, I'm standing on because it's about protecting democracy. You said worse things. And so when we go into the court of law and standing face to face, both of us standing in our chambers and talking about these issues, I have records to play and show that you were the one who went away against the policies of the United States of America when everybody across the world said the elections was rigged. And I can play Ambassador David Reimer's video for you so you can hear him. When Ambassador David Reimer, your predecessor that you took over from, made it very clear that there's a lot of irregularities, and you yourself said that. But now you're telling us that we should walk away and not ask questions because, oh no, you've been compromised very heavily. We can sense it, we can feel it. So let me play Ambassador Reimer's interview here for you. Let me play.
Position on the elections results, and to date, we've not seen a clear statement from the US Embassy of the president-elect. Does that position still stand?
The United States is concerned about irregularities in the results that were announced by the ECSL. That includes a big difference between the ECSL announced results and the parallel vote tabulation, as well as inconsistencies that were analyzed by domestic and international observers. All of these things raise questions in our mind, not just in the United States, but really all over the world, about the integrity of the official results.
Thank you. Ambassador Hunt, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And we are ready to push this. We have the evidences against you. You're destroying democracy. And like Aristotle said, Marcus Aurelius said, when a dictatorship becomes a fact, a revolution becomes a right. We know there are American companies doing business in Sierra Leone. You said it. You said there's a lot of American businesses doing business in Sierra Leone, and they're having a lot of good, returns on their investments. But whatever it is, we don't know. But as far as we know, President Joe Biden made it very clear that he's willing and ready to stand by those voices that are ready to protect democracies across the world. So we're asking you again, Ambassador Hunt, what is your problem with us? What is your problem? Why are you destroying democracy in Sierra Leone? Why are you standing with these guys to destroy democracy in Sierra Leone? Why? Why, Ambassador Hunt? Let me play what you said again yesterday. Let me play it again so you can hear yourself. Listen to this.
We're very concerned, frankly, about making a 6-year commitment to Sierra Leone, having an election coming up in 2028, which would be about midway through that 6-year commitment, and then having a repeat of 2023 and having to say, well, this country's no longer on a democratic trajectory. We have to pause everything.
Thank you. Thank you. So how do you know that the next elections is in 2028? When this election was rigged, there are inconsistencies and irregularities. Why you try to trifle? You're trifling. You're making the whole thing seem like, it's just this disagreement over there. There's disagreement over here. So they're not agreeing and this and that. You know the election was rigged, but you've been very hypocritical to your own conscience. We want a rerun elections, Ambassador Hunt, and I hope there are Sierra Leoneans out there who are ready to stand up and defend and protect this democracy, because we shall and we will not allow the elections to be rigged and then you tell us to walk away and just let it be. We're not going to let that happen. Sierra Leoneans will defend and protect this democracy. Listen to Marabio when he made it very clear. This was at a time where it was not even the elections being rigged. It was just something about the elections being postponed. Listen to Marabio, what he said about democracy and protecting democracy. Listen to him.
That will happen if the elections will be really postponed. What will be the consequences for the country if that will happen if the elections will be really postponed?
There are consequences, as you know. We are all set. We've been preparing for this for the past 5 years, and everything is set. We have international observers here. quite a lot of money has been spent for this particular occasion, and we see no reason why it should be postponed. The only reason that is there is because the president wants to postpone. But we have the constitution, and there is no reason why it should not be held on the 27th. I will not hesitate to call the people of this country to come out and defend peace, security, and the democracy we have fought for. I didn't fight for democracy alone. This whole nation fought for it. And I think we should rise up to make sure that democracy is maintained.
Absolutely, I agree. So the equivalence of this now is again Dr. Samora Kamara coming out and speak like this at this particular point in time. Dr. Samora Kamara, I think you should. But at the same time, I don't want to let people hey, someone talk. No, that's not what the point is. The whole thing is the APC as a political party from which Cherry Coco did at parliament. By day will all be for a whole Cherry Coco. Some of them already hold Samora Kamara now saying they talk. We tell them we go against Cherry Coco saying they talk. We'll defend them. We'll try to protect her. Well, we already protect nobody there. Yes, Dr. Samora Kamara now could come out and speak like Malabio as a potential candidate and say, hey, we don't get the recommendations of the tripartite. Number one, rerun elections. Therefore, I'm ready, if the government and everybody not implements these rerun elections, I'm ready to bring my people out to protect democracy and everything. Just like Malabio talk as well. But the APC party as well, everybody involved in the tripartite, the executives, they should safe already and be prepared. Just like when you listen to Lyle or Slima, you listen to that guy in the UK and they all come out. Everybody will talk within the SLPP. They don't let give one person. They don't let give Marabio. When I listen to this guy in the UK and I understand what they talk now. So they don't let give. Everybody will talk. UK and all over Lionel Slima.
Former chairman Martin was saying it. We aren't going to be complacent. We've not got it. In my local language, they say in Mende, be a boy bad enough for it. Okay? We don't have the body in our hands, so we can't say we've held it. That's the direct translation. Okay? So we haven't got the body in our hand yet. We've seen the bird. We've had sight of the bird. And oh boy, we're going to catch it. We're going to catch it. We've got plans for catching that bird. And that bird is State House and the Houses of Parliament. Come 2018, no matter what APC is going to do, we are ready to fight. And you know what?
Yeah, this guy did a UK and I. He's ready for fight. This is the SLPP talking. So when you look at the SLPP, they were very effective. APC, almost executive, like quick as we're going to talk about the one already in England. They just did it. I mean, I don't even want to go into all of that. It's just sad. They're already America. What are they doing? You know, for make sure they stand up. In times like these now, you know, none of these guys, they're not going to tell me they're not in the military. A lot of them are for civil by, you know, they get top government jobs that we go prevent them from, you know, they're able to take these positions and go to the White House and organize a protest in front of these people, go to Congress and all of that, take position people and go to Congress, all of those kinds of things at this particular point in time they can do them. But you look at these guys, they are not doing anything along that line. They are not. Now the same thing Lionel Slima, he said, come on, he did that AYV, Lionel Slima was in Sierra Leone. Then Baba they go say that, hey, that's what I'm already. Lionel Slima, now he ACN up. And make it very clear. He say, the military has a right to protect this constitution. Let me come. You know?
It is always the duty of the military to intervene to protect this constitution. And let me come, please. It is always the duty of the military to intervene to protect this constitution. And let me come, please.
And this was a fact. I don't know why people feel say Lionel Slima commit a crime now. He not commit no crime now. He said this and it's in the constitution. It is absolutely in the constitution. Section 165 of the constitution makes it very clear. Yes, the military for protect the achievements of the people. It is the responsibility of the military to protect them. But hey, APC, nobody make a mind for talk this kind of talk here. because the party no get one word. The chairman, if you fulu, we look in face self, you just useless, the most useless chairman the world over. Mikel Basari, useless guy. Useless, them part there. If you don't turn power, you don't able to stand up to the test of times. Get the fuck out of the space and give people a way be say they're able to stand up. But you the young one back like a cherry cocoa, a young man. Himself don't sell out. He said, Julie Gentleman, brother. I like you call and 10 for the day. The answer 10 for the day. So you don't want to forget a hard time. So I make cherry cocoa sell with a parliament, destroy with democracy like I did. They get me kind of master. Himself did as the chairman of the APC party. In business they protect, not care. But the APC people for sitting here today. Look what happened like Kenya. The Kenya people for take over. And I say this again in Sierra Leone. Not only SL people are the problem. If the people of Sierra Leone rise up, I don't know say the APC, that executive, they not deserve any better. They should all be chased out completely. I want to understand anything there because they are all parts of the problem. We make SLPP continue for destroy we and Madabi continue for destroy Sierra Leone. Madabi will not destroy Sierra Leone by himself. If the opposition be stand up from Cheriko Kona Parliament all the way through all the members of Parliament and they could get for offend them all, Sabi all, offend them all, they're all the same. And those people should not be forgiven for the destruction of a democracy. They all sit down silently, they watch this SLPP destroy with democracy. And they get ambassador horns so they come and can talk about nonsense. Shonoshala. So APC people are asking again. When I go ask the APC for come out with a press conference, at least for can defend the recommendation we make. Number one, the rerun of the elections. Are they going to come out to defend that recommendation? That's the question that I get for now. This message I can make long, but left for now. But how Ambassador Hunt no say the next election at 2028 when the recommendation say we want to rerun elections? Now the time this way when I forgo the embassy in front of the US embassy. But again, we are not beginning nothing when we get confidence for start. If anything happens at Sierra Leone again, a protest or whatever the case is, we may not put on plan. But I just say what I say there. If there is any protest in Sierra Leone again, let not just be no more 2-3 people. Sierra Leoneans get for make sure so when they hold that streets of protest. I like that 1 month to take for bring sense back and getting rid of this illegal government. They should do it to the best of their ability. People should be willing and ready to sacrifice. And when I ready for stand by ourselves, the people of Sierra Leone get what it take for take on the power back. Again, section 5 subsection 1 makes it very clear. It says, through this constitution, the government derives its legitimacy, its authority, and its power from the people. So Ambassador Hunt, they talk only Shoroshala and nonsense. He is heavily compromised, and we would know where the compromise took place. We already talked to Ambassador Hunt. We already run the Twitter page of the US Embassy. Who is in charge? Is Ambassador Hunt compromised? Do they have a video of him somehow that he is afraid that they could release this video and then that will be the end of his career? Is that what it is? What is happening? Somebody needs to know because they were not saying the SLPP. The tactic will be carried back with the APC. Then they set them up with MPK them. Take video of them in a compromised position. They make it one and all that stuff. Then whatever happens, we don't say they can do anything. So maybe this guy has been squeezed, but we need to find out, and we will find out. So Ambassador, if that is a problem, reach out to me and let me know how compromised you are. If that is a situation, I will do everything I could to free you from that. Believe me, it wouldn't go anywhere. Because now we know that you were compromised by these guys and you have a right to privacy. So whatever you were doing in private should have stayed private. Nobody know for take your privacy and expose them publicly. It is a crime in itself. So even if they get a video of you that you were compromised, to go to this day, they violated your privacy and we can defend that. Come talk to me. Let me know what it is and we'll save you. But what you're doing right now, the trajectory that you're on, you're talking about the next election is in 2028. Who are you to say that? You're not the electoral commissioner. You're not the electoral commissioner of Sierra Leone. You're not the president of Sierra Leone. You have no authority to tell us our next election is in 2028. No. When we have a recommendation from the tripartite committee saying that we are asking for rural elections as put forth by the opposition. Some people I don't left again, we don't understand this here. You are not rush for come and make conclusion. Una sit down, watch and learn. The only thing I want to do for me, una ask APC for organize a press conference, then they can defend within a right. Now that recommendation day. If not the right say rerun, then they can defend them. I left this message really no longer. No understand. If you get for listening the message twice, listen twice. So you get the message where I put out there. But some people them will let we open up our eyes and defend and protect the democracy. Alright? Bye bye everybody.